Hello there folks, welcome to another train simulator video. Today we're going to be looking at a sound mod for the Bud RDC 2. A majority of these are the RDC 2, which of course means rail diesel car, built by Bud. Now these models have been around for train simulator for quite some time. You can find them on, I believe it's called Golden Age of Railroading. It's a train simulator site with a lot of old stuff, but some pretty good stuff, including these as well. Now, like I said, the model is very old, so the interior and some of the looks, exterior, all that good stuff, you know, may not be up to par to modern day standards, but they're still pretty good considering their age. This sound mod comes presented by a couple of train sim community members, one of which, Nix, which has been working on this for quite some time. Trying to fit in the Detroit diesel variants as well as the Cummins variants as well. And Nix teamed up with CentralJerseyRailfan, the guy that brought us the EMD 567 pack and all kinds of other great mods out there. So sort of a collaboration, but this thing is pretty much ready. It's finalized. I think it's called Beta 0.1 or something like that. As always, I will link it down below where you can find the thing and run it for yourselves. But it's a goodie because there are several liveries and variants of these which you can run just about anywhere. We got Western Pacific, New Haven, Alaska, Penn Central. I'm sure I'm missing a few, but there's quite a few out there. Just a bit about these things in case you may not know about them. It's essentially a self-propelled diesel multiple unit, so a DMU, just like they use in, Europe, I guess, the UK. Essentially, they were used and built between 1949 and 1962. They built almost 400 of these things by the Bud Company of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They were used for passenger service in rural areas, or you could say less populated areas, as sort of a stopgap for short-haul commuter services by rail. They could, of course, be used independently or multiple unit, hence the DMU. They were not only sold and used in North America, but South America as well as Asia, Australia, though a majority of these were used in the northeast of the U.S. here. Most of these retired in the 80s, but I believe Canada still runs a few of these. If I'm not mistaken, I think they do. It's got a stainless steel car body, top speed of 85 mile an hour, with this unit having about 550 horsepower. Now, just because what we got here, we're on the Alaska Railroad map. We're sitting here in Seward. And the Alaska Railroad acquired these. They were ex-New Haven units. This is one of which here, 711. I think they had 4 of these, and they used them in the 80s, one of which was a round-trip service, I believe a summer service, that went round-trip between, I think, Anchorage to Seward. So we're currently in Seward. Now, something else, the Alaska Railroad did not have the Detroit diesel power unit variant. They had rebuilt Cummins 6-cylinder. But anyway, these have the Detroit diesel. Enough about that. What you get with the pack is, like I said, the Detroit diesel 110 power unit. You're going to get a Wapco E2 horn and new bell on all except the New Haven, which is going to have the Hancock air whistle. I have one sitting off to the side, so we'll check that out in a minute. You're going to get new cab sounds, air brake sounds, engine exhaust sounds, horn, bell, roll sounds, and I've been told something happens when it heats up to 185 Fahrenheit, so I have no clue what that is. Anyway, we're sitting here silent at Seward. The bay is right here behind us. We're going to go ahead and fire this thing up, see what it sounds like. That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. Considering what these sound like by default, that ain't bad at all. Do a little horn check. Definitely a nice Wapco E2. It's a bit quiet over the sound of the multiple units themselves, but it's still a good sound. Check it out from far away here. Yeah, it's fairly quiet. Now, they weren't massive horns, they weren't powerful horns, but it's still a very good sound. Of course, like I said, the model on these is very old. With the Alaska Railroad, you're going to get, I think at least 2 variants. I got 2 variants here. You can see the blue and yellow face and the red and white face. This one's got the newer ARR logo on there, which, you know, considering how old these are, pretty darn nice. One thing that's always kind of funny and made me giggle about these are the character models. This guy is scary. Kind of looks like Will Ferrell a little bit. But I chose the non-passenger variant because they are scary as well. But that idle sound sounds pretty good. Sounds like a Detroit diesel. Now, these sounds were acquired, you know, legitimately, and they are accurate sounds. I'll go ahead and hop in here and see what it sounds like. So it's a little bit quiet because essentially the engine is kind of mid-section in the car, so it'd be a little quiet here. Now, of course, the interior does not look that great. This is a very, very old model, but you know, if you zoom in quite a bit, you don't notice it. You can just drive like that, and everything's cool. See what the horn sounds like in here. It's got that nice rattle, that raspy sound inside, so there is a difference. Check the bell as well. Very nice exterior bell. Now that bell is very audible. The bell sounds really good outside. Alright, let's run this thing a little bit here. Let's check the brake sounds out here. They are different. They're pretty good. You know, considering those of you that know how this thing sounded by default, this is like, you know, this is Mount Everest compared to the default sounds, which were the Grand Canyon. Go outside, see what she sounds like. You can't really hear them outside. Now there's no independent brake, so it's essentially the loco brake. These could be run, like I said, independently or multiple unit. They are very unique though, and they're cool. And they were like the premier diesel multiple unit or rail diesel car in the U.S. You know, they started it all and they basically finished it when it came to stuff like this. Anyway, let's get on down the track here a little bit. So let's give it 1 notch. That sounds pretty nice. Now there may be a bit of an echo because I've got 2 units here, obviously. Give her 1 more notch. Dude, that is not bad. I've always loved these things dearly, and a lot of you probably do as well. I've never seen one personally. They're fairly rare. Like I said, I think they still use them in Canada, and I think a few short lines and heritage, you know, centers still have a few of these. And I don't think sounds are that easy to acquire. So the fact that they were able to get these sounds legitimately, of course, and put them on this thing is very, very nice. Check our map here so we don't run out of room. Yeah, we're good. Alright, give it another notch. And another. And final notch. Dude, that sounds pretty good. The sound editing between the gears and the RPM range, that sounds pretty darn good. We'll check the sounds out here internally. Cut it, break it. Now, those interior sounds I think I'm hearing, I believe, are new. You can kind of hear air, you know, whipping through the cracks and whatnot, the holes. Alright, we'll go ahead and throw it in reverse here. Like I said, I've got a New Haven variant just because I've only got 2 variants. There's a lot of variants of these that you can have and get your paws on. But all of them, like I said, are going to have the Wapco E2 horn and, of course, the Detroit Diesel 110 power unit, except for the New Haven variant, which I said is going to have the Hancock air whistle. So we're going to back up and check that out here. Stick our head out, see what it sounds like. Dude, that is a nice, very unique sound for Train Simulator. You know, unless of course you're driving a what is it, a 158 in the UK Train Sim. I believe some of those had Detroit diesel engines as well as Cummins. That sounds very good. Go ahead and brake it as well. Now, I don't know what happens when the engine heats up to 185 Fahrenheit. You know, I guess I'll find out one of these days. Maybe you'll have to find out for yourself. I legitimately don't know. I was told by Neeks that just something happens. I didn't want to spoil it for myself or for anybody else. But, you know, who knows? Maybe there's like a big plume of smoke. Maybe it dies, the engine cuts, some kind of fail-safe. Maybe you get a fan sound. I don't know. I guess you'll have to figure it out. Alright, we'll stop and shut it down, see what it sounds like here. Seems to be the best range of sound right there. Alright, go ahead and shut her off. It's not terrible, you know. It's not. I don't think it's as good as the startup, but you know, we're talking about the shutdown sounds. You're not going to be like shutting down your engine or your DMU nonstop. It still sounds pretty decent. It's just the, you know, the quickness between running and the shutting down. But it's, dude, this is very nice. I've been looking forward to this one for quite some time. We're going to go ahead and head over to the Virtual New Haven. Well, Virtual New Haven Railroad essentially built these, but they're New Haven rail cars. So here we go, New Haven. Like I said, there are a ton of variations of these. Now, there were variations in real life as well. I think one of them, max passenger, was like 84, 86. And then they started making other variations that had like special package areas or baggage areas, which would accommodate less people and less seats. But they were essentially the same overall. We'll go ahead and check this horn out here. So that's the Hancock air whistle. And you can definitely tell those are Central Jersey Railfan's horn sounds on there, which are nice. Specific to the New Haven Railroad, this Hancock air whistle. Check out the bell. I believe it's the same bell as well. little loop around here. There we go. Pop on the headlights. The headlights are not, you know, fantastic. They're the same headlights. Nothing's been changed there. If you know how to do flares, more power to you. And of course you can see the Hancock air whistle here. Looks like a little radar dish. All right, let's set up over here in the grass and get a bunch of ticks. Get some Lyme disease while we're over here. Watch this thing run by here. I'm hearing some flange squeal in there too, which we did not hear because that ARR multiple unit was pretty straight on. So that is nice. That is very nice. Go and check out the pack for yourself, guys. Big thanks to Neeks and Central Jersey Railfan for making this happen, because these things are, you know, they're pretty unique as far as American railroading, and they weren't just used here in the States either. So that's awesome. Definitely going to be using these. But that's it, guys. I will link it down below, as always, everything you're going to need. There's a README in the pack as well, so read that README. It is fairly simple. Once you have these in your inventory or your asset folder, you simply drag and drop the folders, and it's donezo. That is it. But anyways, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time.